On the second floor?
I'm not sure. I think so.
The Alderman? I just want to make sure I'm in the right
meetings
place.
are right here, yeah.
Okay, cool. God bless you, officer. Stay safe. The cop didn't say nothing.
To increase their evidence collection, and we can help them to make a safer Aurora. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about why you would want to consider bringing this technology to your city. Tonight, in Aurora, there will be gunfire. And if you're like most other cities across this nation, it is very likely that no one will call 911. In fact, over 80% of gunfire goes unreported to the police. Think about it, 80% of violent gun crime, there is no 911 call. There are a couple of reasons for this. So a lot of times when people hear gunfire, they don't recognize it, or they think someone else will call. They don't want to bother the police, someone's closer, they've got more information, they'll make that call. Or there's a fear of retaliation, because when you call 911, the police come to your door, and if the shooter sees you talking to the police, it could make you a potential target next time. And then worst of all, there's the normalization of gun violence. When I look out my window when I hear gunfire, if I don't see the police the last 10 times it happened, I have no expectation that when I look outside that I will see them. And I probably won't look outside anymore. As this scenario plays itself out over and over, all across the country, all across Aurora, in cities that have ShotSpotter, it leads to the normalization of gun violence. The shooters feel emboldened to continue shooting their weapons, increasing the likelihood of homicides and non-fatal shootings. At the same time, the rest of the community lives in fear. Wondering why you're not there, wondering why the Aurora Police Department doesn't show up when there's gunfire in their neighborhood. But they don't know about that 80%, and at the same time, they think that the police know about the gunfire. The police department often presents an aura of omniscience. A lot of people, many of us, all over this country, think the police know everything. It's somehow helpful for them for deterrence, but it also leads to this situation. So, if you look outside your window and you expect to see a police response, but you don't see one, what conclusion will you come to when you look out that window about your police department? That they don't care. All of this leads to a vicious cycle where gun violence continues unabated, the agency itself is seen as deliberately indifferent, there's an erosion of community trust, and your officers are put at risk. But ShotSpotter can help, and here's how. So I'm going to take a few minutes and walk you through our service and how we get officers to the scenes of gunfire quickly that they wouldn't know about if they're relying solely on 911. When we come into a city, we work with the police department to analyze gun crime data. That data informs the location where you put ShotSpotter, and we refer to that location as a coverage area. In that coverage area, we build what is called a sensor array. These are sensors that we mount on rooftops and lampposts in your city in that coverage area. Then, when the sound of a muzzle blast goes off, those sensors are triggered by that impulsive sound. And then triangulation is used to pinpoint the exact location where that shooter is standing when they pull the trigger. At the same time, our software makes an initial classification as to whether or not something is gunfire. And if the software determines that it is, it will send it to one of our incident review centers, our primary center in Fremont, California, or our backup center in Washington, D.C. There we have trained acoustic technicians that listen to this gunfire. They'll listen to the audio, look at the sound waves. They'll also look at things like sensor participation to see if all those attributes match a gunfire event. If it does, they will then publish what we call an alert, and they will do that in less than 60 seconds with contextual information that helps your officers make a safer response. So how do they know to look at this alert data? Well, they get a sound on their device, whether it's a laptop in the car, tablet, phone, watch, that will direct them to look at their device. And what they get is this satellite view of the situation. And the thing that stands out probably the most in here is the little bubble with the number 16 in it. That's the number of rounds fired. Then there's a circle, which is what we call our crime scene. It's a 25-meter or 82-foot radius where we direct our customers to look for ground truth, whether it's a shooter, a victim, witnesses, or evidence like shell casings. We also provide the exact time down to the millisecond, which is very helpful, especially in places like your KIC center, where you might be looking at video assets, right? We tell you exactly when the event occurred so they don't have to search through a lot of video. They can go straight to the video, the location based on the time. We also give them, there's a time up there, contextual information. In this example, we have multiple shooter and we have a high capacity weapon. The officer can also replay the audio of the gunfire for themselves, or they can use Google Street View to look up a landmark, or especially if they're not familiar with the area, to plan a more tactical response. In addition, we give them a report at their fingertips that breaks down the location of each one of those shots. That 16 is broken down out here now, so you can see the location of each shot. We provide the exact location and the time for each. So now, with ShotSpotter, your citizens will see a police response to the gunfire. They will see your officers arresting the shooters. They will also see your officers rendering life-saving first aid. Studies have shown that getting police quickly based on a ShotSpotter alert to an incident can get that victim to the trauma center minutes faster than relying on a 911 call. They will also see your officers collecting evidence, really critical, especially here with your NIBIN program. You want to be able to collect as many shell casings as you can. What you're seeing here on your screen is the CJIC wheels, the Crime Gun Intelligence Center process. A lot of agencies adhere to this and use it to track down these serial shooters. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because we don't need to, but I want to point out step one, which is comprehensive collection. You don't have comprehensive collection of shell casings and crime guns if you don't have ShotSpotter because you're unaware of the majority of your shootings. They will also see your officers interviewing witnesses and knocking on doors, talking to residents. We always advise our customers, and I know here in Aurora they're very interested in pursuing this, what we call a best practice, which is knocking on those doors, checking on residents, and seeing if they are okay. It's really helping to provide an opportunity for positive community engagement. And that will help you all to change that narrative from the police don't care to the police are there, leading to a safer Aurora. But I wouldn't take my word for it alone. We also work with our customers to see how they're doing, share their success stories on our website. And I want to go back to something I said at the beginning. ShotSpotter is that tool that can help the Aurora PD to save lives, to collect critical evidence, and to make a safer community. So I have 3 examples from our website here, and I know the commander has the links to these stories on our site, and he can share with all of you if you would like to have that at some point. But on here, I'll direct you to this first slide, which is lives saved, And in 2020, the city of Oakland had 101 people that they believe their officers saved because they got there quickly, absent a 911 call, to provide life-saving first aid and get those victims to the trauma center. We also have a section for capturing evidence. And on this slide, and I'll apologize, I have to back up and look at it. The city of Omaha had a 55% decrease in homicides in 2019. The city of Rochester had a 40% decrease in gunshot detections. And I apologize. The last one is evidence collection, and this is the one where Toledo had 70 arrests and 50 firearms seized in 1 year. We have all kinds of examples where our customers have really done a fantastic job of reducing crime in their cities and really helping people to see that the police do care about them. So with that, I'm going to ask Kevin to come up and say a few words, and then we're both available to answer any questions that you may have.
Good evening, Mayor Irvin, esteemed members of the Aurora City Committee as a whole. My name is Kevin Johnson. I am an employee of ShotSpotter. I'm a customer success director with accounts all over Illinois, Missouri, and other parts of the country. Prior to joining ShotSpotter back in May of 2020, I served with the Chicago Police Department. I retired as a rank of deputy chief with the department. In 2017, my district was selected in Chicago to onboard ShotSpotter along with other technology in Chicago to reduce crime and work on community engagement. What I've seen nationwide from all my customers, the city of Aurora is not unique. It's not unique to, you're having the same problems that we're having all over the country. Fewer police, fewer resources, people actively going against police officers, and like Trish had in her presentation, people are not calling the police for gun violence. That creates that cycle of fear. That creates that cycle of mistrust. And what ShotSpotter does, it brings that legitimacy back to your department, where you have the officers responding safely to those jobs, ShotSpotter alerts, getting there, saving lives, collecting evidence, making arrests, and at the same time have that positive community engagement where you knock on the door and you say, I'm Officer Johnson, I'm responding to a ShotSpotter alert this location. What can we do to help you? You build upon that. In terms of officer safety, they're not relying on a call for service that could be a mile away or half a mile away. They know exactly what they're going, where they're going, or what they're getting into. That provides officer safety and situational awareness for your officers. And it builds a safer community. I've seen this throughout my experience, not only in Chicago, but I've seen this throughout the country. I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Questions from the council? Alderman Smith. Sorry about that. Threw me off for a second.
Oh, what's her name? So just accuracy, the integrity, the accuracy of how this works, and has there been some false, what do you call them, false reporting from the system?
Oh, false positives. So nationally, across the country, we've got we always say it's 120. We have over 120 customers now. I know we've added some, but over 120 customers. I think last year our false positive rate was less than 0.5%. Now, granted, that is based on self-reporting, right? Because we don't necessarily know unless those agencies report back to us, and some agencies are better than others. In fact, Kevin spends a lot of time with his customer base, as do the other customer success directors, really trying to focus them on, look, tell us if we miss something. We need to know. But contractually, what we do to help our agencies is we give them a performance level guarantee that we will detect all outdoor unsuppressed gunfire 25 caliber and above 90% of the time within that 25 meter or 82 foot radius, and alert out on it in under 60 seconds or less.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Alderman Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple. You're putting things around the city to be able to detect these, right?
Yeah, we picked the coverage area based on data. The police department provides us their data, and we kind of work together on what does this coverage area look like.
And you
So they're really innocuous. They're not branded in any way. We have a couple different versions, but the current one is kind of like this big, and it's kind of a slopey shape, and it just sits up on a pole. You wouldn't know what it was if you saw it. You wouldn't even notice it probably. And we mount them on rooftops, and we, kind of get back a little bit, center of a rooftop, or on utility poles.
And how foolproof is this technology to be able to determine if it was a gunshot and where is it?
So, really good. We've been around for 25 years. And like I said, that service level guarantee, we find that we're usually in the high 90s with all of our customers on our uptime and all those guarantees. It's very accurate. We have customers tell us that they will open the door to a squad car and the shell casings are right there where we said they were. Because the really important part of this is when we dispatch them out, we always tell them dispatch to the dot. That dot you saw on the map, don't go to the street address. Shootings don't generally happen all the time at the front door. They're in an alley, in a field, in a backyard. You want to go exactly to that dot. That's your crime scene.
How large is our targeted area that we're focusing on?
2 square miles.
Can you divulge the location? 2 square miles? Or? Can you share what the location of the 2 square miles?
What we have to do is still analyze all the data for the shootings that happened. We had a 10-year map we looked at recently, but obviously we would want to zero in. The city's changed since 2012. So we would analyze that data and work with ShotSpotter to see where it would be best suited.
Okay. Well, this is a good idea.
Any other questions from the audience?
Yes.
Alderman Buck?
Thank you. I got the opportunity to get a couple different viewpoints. I got a viewpoint from a City of Chicago Alderman on this, and he was very complimentary. Also got information on, this is my question, on the issue we have in our city is fireworks versus gunshots. I read all your data here. Please tell us specifically how your analytics decipher between the two and how that works. Because there are some people out there, and I read it, who say that it's not as good as advertised in delineating the two.
So one of the ways that we really try to make sure that we do delineate not just fireworks, but other noises, because there's a lot of noise, right, in a lot of these environments. Fireworks are certainly a thing. You can have trouble with a helicopter, snow plow, just any kind of loud bang, boom, or pop. Yeah. But one of the reasons ShotSpotter created, and I think it's been over, I'm going to say 10 years now, our Incident Review Center, was because we found that the machine algorithms had a hard time with certain sounds. I mean, we've cataloged so many over the years, and they've all gotten smarter, those machine algorithms, but we introduced a human element so that you have a validated alert. Doesn't mean there's never a mistake, but you have a validated alert. So the machine is one step, and the second step is that human reviewer not only listening, but looking for the sound wave, which is kind of important because a lot of fireworks, they go out omnidirectional. Well, gunfire is directional. One really easy way to separate the two is by looking at that sound wave. And they also look at sensor participation too. That can have an effect on whether or not something's a gunshot. So for us, it was introducing that second reviewer level into the equation that we felt really helped eliminate, not eliminate completely, but really reduce the instance of alerts that were not gunshots.
Questions?
And my second question is on the 2 square miles. This is probably for in setting that up, are we able to set up 2 zones within the 2 square miles? In other words, 1 square mile here and 1 square mile over here, or is it going to be 2 miles continuous?
We should be able to separate it out into 1 mile square blocks, so it doesn't have to be a continuous, if that's what you're...
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Question? Alderman Gardner.
Is in other municipalities around have this system already?
Can you say one more time, please?
How many other municipalities in the area use it?
So we have Springfield, Illinois. We've got Rockford. We have Calumet City. We've got Peoria, just to name a few. And I think Springfield is a really good user to look at in terms of something I mentioned earlier, which was best practices. Really great agency that has really done a terrific job with their deployment.
Any other questions? No other questions, item will go on consent. Thank you.
Next item for finance is 22-0064, resolution authorizing the City of Aurora Police Department to enter a contract with Forensics Technology Inc. for a 5-year warranty on the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network, NIBIN, that is housed at the Aurora Police Department. And Commander Fichter will speak on this also.
So I've been here several times in the past and spoken about NIBIN, as you may recall. Basically what this is almost fingerprinting for shell casings. Once a gun is fired, it leaves distinct marks on the casing, and much like was presented with ShotSpotter, we can collect that evidence, put it into the machine, and it's analyzed, and it can link guns to specific crimes. It also allows us to work with the federal authorities on gun trafficking and following those things back. So we've had NIBIN now for 4 years, and it came with a original initial warranty, and that warranty has since expired. So I'm seeking approval to get a 5-year warranty, and that is basically important for the system because it has security upgrades to make sure that the system runs at an optimal performance.
No objections, item will go on consent.
Thank you. The last thing for finance is 22-0106, a resolution to purchase a 3-year subscription to Apian's Workforce Safety and Readiness Solution from Alwyn Corporation, Herndon, Virginia, for $135,809.28. And this will allow us to eliminate manual tracking from tests for viruses and other situations, medical situations, and allow HR more resource time for other functions. And Alicia will be presenting on that.
We're seeking approval from council to approve a 3-year subscription to a web-based system for human resources for the city to track vaccinations. Back in November, the city did implement a shot or test policy, which requires our employees either to provide proof of vaccination and or get tested on a weekly basis. And this is obviously for the health and safety of our organization. And as we move forward, we're continuing that. Initially, we had a smaller group. We had to negotiate with our different bargaining groups, and so we had a small group. And we are able to do it manually, although there were a number of different ways that people could provide that information, which was really a decentralized process. As of this past Monday, we now have our 3rd largest group that is now in this protocol, AFSCME group. And so in addition to AFSCME, we have the non-exempt and executive groups, IBW and the Aurora Supervisors Association. And so this is now going to become even a more strenuous process for human resources. This system will allow for people to report their testing by phone, off-site, and it will allow all the information to go into one big database. Right now, we're spending almost 16 hours between 2 employees in human resources just to track what we've been doing. That doesn't include now almost 3 times what we're going to have to track as of Monday. And so we're asking for approval. What's nice, and one other thing I wanted to share, what's nice about this process or this system is that we will be able to use it after whatever the COVID goes away, or we decide that we can stop, we ought to be able to stop tracking. We will be able to use it for other medical issues and reporting. This is a 3-year contract. However, after 1 year, if it doesn't work out, if we find we don't need it, then we can cancel the subscription. So it's a win-win situation, I think, for all of that.
Question? Consent. No objections, item will go on consent.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, that concludes the Finance Committee report.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to, so we can finish up a few items under BZ, Building, Zoning, Economic Development. Chairman Seville, can you go over the items that were held from last COW?
Yes, was just informed, the mayor, that I needed to call them to the floor, that just because they were held over, that just have to do that for the record. So the 5 items that I need to read out loud then have to do with the proposal that was talked about earlier in public comment that, again, the council held over. So the first item is 21-0924. This is an ordinance annexing certain property being located at the northwest corner of Sunrise and Meridian Road of the City of Aurora, Illinois, 60563, pursuant to an approved annexation agreement. 21-0925.
Hold on 1 second. So we have to take action on that, correct?
Oh, do we?
So,
Okay.
yes. So is that
Consent?
consent? No objection, this item will go on consent.
Do we want a report from staff on this for the council? Give us an update.
Is there a need for an update?
Just very quick, we did update the landscape plan just this afternoon. We added some more evergreen trees and evergreen shrubs to provide some additional buffering.
Thank you. So that first item, no objection, that item will go on consent. Please read the next item.
21-0925, an ordinance amending Chapter 49 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Aurora by modifying the zoning map attached thereto to rezone property located at the northwest corner of Sunrise Road and Meridian Road to PDD Plan Development District to be incorporated into the existing Butterfield Plan Development District pursuant to an approved annexation agreement.
Consent.
No objection, this item will go on consent.
21-0926, a resolution approving the final plat for Butterfield Phase 2, Unit 4C subdivision located at the southwest corner of Ferry Road and Meridian Road.
Question.
Alderman Jenkins.
With regards to this gate, what's the situation on that?
I believe Mr. Schroff had spoken about that last COW. Can you just repeat that? Mr. Schroff, what you said about the improved street and the fact that the gate just won't work out?
Correct. So just like we have throughout the city as we've developed over the decades, you'll find streets that were quiet streets that eventually got redeveloped into either industrial or commercial, but the way we handle that is through signage and enforcement as far as keeping trucks off of certain roadways. You'll see throughout your wards that there are roadways that truck designations dramatically drop off at an intersection, and that's what we're proposing. The truck designation drop off at the intersection of Sunrise and Meridian, have a bunch of signage there, and also we've been working with the developer to have the employees that exit and come to the facility to stay on Meridian to get to Ferry Road.
So no gate. Okay.
Correct. It's very difficult on a straight-in roadway to put a gate and not have it become an obstruction and a potential hazard for the motoring public. It would take. It's just very difficult to do. Plus, it's difficult to plow around.
Thank you. Any more questions? With no objection, this item, I believe somebody.
Consent.
All right, no objection, this item will go on consent.
21-0927, a resolution approving a final plan on lot 402 of Butterfield Phase 2, Unit 4C subdivision located at the southwest corner of Ferry Road and Meridian Road for warehouse distribution and storage services.
No objection, this item will go on consent.
21-0928, an ordinance vacating a water main easement on the property located at the southwest corner of Ferry Road and Meridian Road in DuPage County, Aurora, Illinois, 60502.
Consent.
No objection, this item will go on consent.
And that is the report from BZ&E.
Thank you, that concludes BZ. Chairman Hart Burns, can you give the Public Health, Safety, and Transportation Committee report, please?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Public Health Safety and Transportation met on February 8th, we got this item to consider. It's a resolution establishing a maximum number of Class A package sale convenience store beer and wine only license. That is at 150 South Broadway. Consent. I go on consent. Okay, we have item number 220037. It's a resolution approving the 2022 Quality of Life Grant in the amount of $880,000. That could go on unfinished.
Unfinished.
Okay, then we have item number 220057, and that's a resolution authorizing the purchase of one Zell X Series cardiac monitor, defibrillator, and accessories using the Civil Cross Purchasing Cooperative in the amount of $31,457 5604, the Aurora Department.
Consent.
Item number 220079.
Where's everybody going?
A resolution establishing maximum number of Class A package sale beer and wine, only gas station and liquor license unofficially related to the application from 7-Eleven at 1202.
Consent.
Yola Road, that I should want consent. Lastly, we have item number 220086, a resolution authorizing the City of Aurora to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Will County that will allow the City of Aurora to host electronic recycling
Consent.
events. That is sure enough consent. Mr. Mayor, that concludes public health, safety, and transportation.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Chairman Garvey, can you give the Infrastructure and Technology Committee report?
Yes. We met on February 7. The first item is 21-0603, a resolution to award a contract to Misfits Construction Company and the amount of $334,950 for the McCoy Drive pedestrian bridge repair project.
No objection, and I will go consent.
22-0050, a resolution authorizing a contract with Trotter Inc. Associates Inc. to provide construction engineering services for various underground utility improvements projects during the 2022 construction season, an amount not to exceed $390,712.60.
No objections, I will go consent.
22-0052, a resolution authorizing the 2022-2023 professional service agreement for soil management CCDD documentation services with Half and Half Incorporated and Duchler and Division of Fair Graham for total amount not to exceed $170,000.
No objections, I will go consent.
The next one is 22-0071, a resolution to approve the purchase of 3-year subscription of the premium platform from Event Approvals Inc., Vancouver, Canada, in the amount of $46,000 annually for total award of $138,000.
No objections, I will go consent.
So, Mayor, for this meeting.
Thank you very much. Chairman Buggy, or is Vice Chairman Warman to give this? Vice Chairman Warman can give the Rules Administration and Procedures Committee report.
Thank you, Mayor. Rules Administration and Procedure Committee met on February 1st, 2022, and reviewed the following items. Item number 22-0060, a resolution approving the appointment of members to the Aurora Youth Council.
No objections, I will go consent.
Item number 22-0061, a resolution approving the appointment of Dan Hoffman to the Retiree Health Insurance Trust Fund Board.
No objections, I will go consent.
Item number 22-0063, a resolution approving the appointment of a member to the City's Human Relations Commission.
No objections, I will go consent.
Item number 22-0070, an ordinance amending Chapter 41.5 entitled Special Events to the Road Code of Ordinances.
No objections, I will go consent.
Lastly, item number 22-0080, a resolution approving the appointment of members representing the Aurora to the Aurora Areas Convention and Visitors Bureau Board.
No objections, I will go consent.
Mayor, that concludes our agenda from our meeting.
Thank you very much. Let's go on to the Alderman's Corner. Alderman Mesiakos will present it. Alderman.
Give me a second here. Spoiler alert, you're not going to see me in any holiday gear. I'm going to stick in the, I'm sticking with the spirit of a few of my other colleagues here on the City Council who have used PowerPoint. No coincidence that they're U of I grads as well. No video, no, I don't want to leave that honor to the Alderman at large at this point, I would say. But here we go. It's been a while since we've done this here from the Third Ward Chair. I'd like to start off with something very exciting that city staff is working on and the mayor's working on, and that is working towards the development of a 10-year master plan for Phillips Park that has been approved here by my colleagues on the City Council, and looking forward to kickoff and community engagement in that. Phillips Park is used by multiple entities. For example, we have Festival of Lights. I have a picture there with some of my colleagues who were with me out there, but I would like to recognize that there were more aldermen and even people from the mayor's team in their office out there as well on the collection night there, which was a very successful year also. The mayor, I know you do your Halloween event as well, is very successful out at Phillips Park, and also utilized by the food pantries and Northern Illinois Food Bank. So it is a very popular destination. The master plan that's being worked on, it's going to include the entire park and the zoo. Discussions with adding and converting and reconfiguring exhibits at the zoo and new sporting facilities, infrastructure, restrooms, pavilions, and parking lots. Plans for the Phillips Park Golf Course. Right now we're under construction. This is an older picture provided by staff. Very thankful for that. But it's going to engulf golf simulators at our Golf Pro Shop, provide another added service here for our parks in the city of Aurora. The dredging project that for Mastodon Lake that is ongoing and will be forthcoming in the near future. The project design will include a few things. Dredging the lake, obviously, to enhance the water quality as well as the fish habitat. Shoreline restoration along the entire perimeter. Multiple aeration fountains, some that are backlit, which I'm really excited about as well. Underwater mixers to keep algae blooms at bay. And rock outcroppings along the shoreline for fishing, in addition to what we have out there already. So it's a really exciting plan that's being put together by staff, and looking forward to it coming to fruition. And also something else that's it's underway right now as we speak is the internal reconstruction of the waterfall on Mastodon Lake Trail, which is in progress. This here is provided by staff as well. In terms of street resurfacing, we've been getting our fair share of resurfacing projects here over the years, and was it 4.2 lane miles, over 3,700 square feet of sidewalk removal and replacement, over 1,200 linear feet of curb and gutter removal and replacement, multiple miscellaneous maintenance items. In regards to pavement patching, 382 square yards of pavement patching, over 1,000 square feet of sidewalk removal and replacement as well with maintenance, and approximately 10,000 square feet of pavement marking. So staff has been very, very good to our ward, and hopefully they'll continue to be that way as well, which I don't doubt it will continue. Something that's very exciting as well, we have a new business, a very exciting business called Miss Jana's Candy. That's in our business development, one of our business development projects here, I guess. Alderman Sherman Jenkins working very hard to help bring that to fruition, if I'm correct. And also the mayor, thank you very much for coming out for that ribbon cutting. You were very correct in mentioning that her secret formula is a lot of love. But as Miss Jana says, she's given out her secret, and her secret truly is, her marketing is, as well from her perspective, is she puts a lot of butter as well. So, and she doesn't hesitate to share that with everybody and anybody as also. Another thing that we have still is the Ward 3 Residential Waste Sticker Program, and it's also been very successful for us in the 3rd Ward, and we're finding that there's more and more requests for it. Something that the numbers don't tell right now is that it's also reduced calls, I believe, and fly dumping and whatnot, and it's helping us take care of our neighborhoods as well before we call the city and with a concern. So we start from 2019. You can see over the years we've more than doubled the amount of requested stickers, and it's really helped out with removing some of those complaints as well. And we don't have as many couches or whatnot sitting on the curbs or people have small little projects, they're able to take care of those things. So we're real excited about it, and moving forward with that as well. Moving forward, we've been doing it actually for 9 years, even though it goes back to 2019. This data, but it's proved to be very, very fruitful. Something else also we've had the last few years, again, with the support of the City Council here, we have our Ward 3 residential grant program that helps out our seniors and people in need through Rebuilding Together Aurora and the Neighbor Project, and helping put more dollars into our community with fixing things that those organizations couldn't take care of because they're falling short as well. So it's been growing, and it's been very successful for us, and we've got a lot of positive feedback from the community and also from these not-for-profit organizations here in Aurora. Something else that we were working on with Mr. David Smith, besides the fact that he knows how to make a mean bag of popcorn, and now he's also providing hot chocolate to events. He's also working very closely around town, and he's actually visited out in hometown to help bring a STEAM Academy program not too long ago, and was very successful, very much appreciated by all the kids. I was impressed with his team and the engagement the kids had over there with this program. So another very fruitful opportunity for our kids and the community too, especially with through this pandemic. And a few things that are happening around the community. You know, we have a new pastor in our community as well, but you know, we also hosted, East Aurora hosted in the 3rd Ward at the high school, another East Aurora West Aurora basketball game. I had to mention that East Aurora had the home court advantage, won the third meeting in the longest standing rivalry in the state of Illinois, which was really exciting. I was there personally. It was a wonderful game. Also hometown subdivision, doing events, connection events with our COPs and our city staff as well, which was very fruitful, helping people engage again, especially right after COVID, where people were really closed up. So that was very, very well attended, very well received as well in our ward. Something else, of course, we also get in hometown, Mr. David Smith. He is a powerhouse, helped put together Halloween, was it Trunk or Treat, which was very successful out in hometown, and a lot of energy. His energy feeds off into the community, and the community and the kids really, really, really enjoyed the event. Even though it was during the Bears game Sunday, it was still well attended. And of course, we continued with our 9th annual Thanksgiving turkey dinner support, trying to help people outside the norm. We do share our list with both pantries and make sure that they understand there's more people that need help, and try to get them over to help out. I should say have the pantries help out as well, try to alleviate the burden, and we do find people or businesses to help support this event also, in addition to the volunteers from the 3rd Ward that help make this a success. And today we did it out of Murray Wilkinson Food Pantry this year, out of East Aurora High School. Again, we did it for 9 years in a row, 3rd Ward Curbside Appeal Award, 9 years running. Even through COVID, we did it. We modified it to some degree in terms of how we notified the residents, but it's been a very positive program that has provided a lot of positive results, not just with these homeowners, but the feedback we receive is that from the winners, or even some that are concurrent winners as well the following year or two, is that their neighbors also start taking more pride in home ownership and taking care of their homes as well. So there's positive feedback and positive reverberation in this program as well in our neighborhoods. And of course, we had this year, we piggybacked a little bit off of a program that happens in the second ward with Alderman Juan Garza, and that as we worked, we got some support as well, working with Representative Barbara Hernandez, who also is a third ward resident, and her family is as well. And we had our first inaugural, hopefully probably inaugural Christmas Posada event in the third ward that was well attended. And even with a last minute preparation, the seats filled up very quickly within a week's time, and a lot of kids had a lot of good fun as well. And it's traditional celebration. And all in all, I again here special thanks to the following departments for helping provide the information. Public Works Engineering, especially Mr. Ken Schroth, or Director Ken Schroth, the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs, and of course I couldn't have done this without my my own personal aide, Mrs. Shelley Wendet. I would say she's probably one of the best, if not the greatest, but all the girls in our office, all the women in our office are the greatest, and of course behind them, of course, is Chief Jacobs as well, who's also great. So thank you all, one and all. Mayor, that's about it.
Great job, Alderman. Appreciate it. Third ward is looking up. Looking good over there, brother. All right, is there no further business, no closed session needed? There's been a motion to adjourn by Alderman Hartburn, second by Alderman Franco. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.